pretty sure you guys have heard the advice to batch create your content to help you be more consistent on social media, to help you be more productive, and to help you have more time to do the things that you really want to do. But what does this process of batching content actually look like? What are the steps essentially? So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking it all down for you guys, and you want to make sure that you watch from beginning to end because I'm going to be sharing a lot of tips along the way. Timestamps will be in the description box so that you guys can just skip to whatever portion of the video is of interest to you. Hey beautiful friends, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Miriam. I'm an actor and content creator based in New York City, and I share my life in those two worlds here on YouTube through vlogs. But I'm also a digital strategist. So I have two playlists here on YouTube. One is called The Truth About Being a Content Creator, and the other is called Boss and Conquer. And through those two playlists, I share videos on literally what that sounds like. The truth about being a content creator, the behind the scenes, what it's like to actually create content, content strategy, content creation tips, where to get content ideas, all of that good jazz. So if you're not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe, turn on your notifications so that you never miss an upload. So let's get right into today's video, which is about batching content. And it is a super helpful tool to use to help you be more consistent on social media and have kind of like an asset library of content that you can put out there. But many people don't actually break down what this looks like. The batching the content in one day is just one part of the actual process. There are things that you need to do before you actually get to that day where you're creating the content. The first thing that I want to touch upon, which I think is super important, and I come across this one, I don't want to say it's an issue, but just something that we overlook a little bit too much when I deal with one-on-one consults or my freelance clients, and that is knowing how much time you actually have to create content. We tend to overestimate how much time we have. Something that I recommend for my clients to do is to track their time for the entire day. And I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of tedious to do, but it is super helpful. So what you want to do is document the start time and the end time of every single task from the time that you wake up. I'm talking about brushing your teeth, making your breakfast, getting ready, your commute to work, helping your kids with homework, cooking dinner, etc. Literally track everything from beginning to end. And then what you do is at the end of the day, you're gonna tally up all of your hours, and you will be able to see on paper how much time a single task took you. And then that way you get to really have a better idea of where you're putting too much of your time, and you can decide what you need to cut back on or completely eliminate. It's really important for you to know how much time you have in a day, in a week, that you can dedicate to creating content, because that is also going to help you decide the number of pieces of content that you can realistically create in that time. And then you'll know how to break out each of these steps that we're about to get into. Once you've done your time tracking for the day and you know how much time you have and you've decided on the number of pieces of content that you're going to be creating, the next thing that you want to do is your research. So you want to know what types of content you're going to be creating. Are you going to be taking pictures? Are you doing videos? And if you are doing videos, are you doing long form videos like YouTube, or short form videos like in feed, Instagram videos, or Instagram Reels, TikToks, etc. So knowing what type of content you're going to be creating will also be really helpful when it comes time to batch that content. The other thing that you want to consider when you're doing your research is looking for inspiration and looking for other content ideas that you can be creating. You want to see what people are creating in the similar content pillars that you touch upon. Which brings me to my next thing, is you should know what your content pillars are so that you know what you're creating content about. If you are creating content and you're featuring brands, I would say to also research a little bit of your hashtags, like what are the main hashtags that you're going to be using on this post. You want to also use the brand's hashtags, so you want to take the time to actually do that research and know what that is. The next thing is your outlines. If you're doing long form content like blog posts or YouTube videos, then I highly recommend that you take the time to actually outline what it is that you're going to be talking about. For YouTube, I don't like to script out everything like word for word what I'm going to say, because it just doesn't feel very natural. But I do like to make a simple outline, just bullet points of the key things that I want to touch upon. And I do the same thing for my blog posts and for newsletters. And if I am creating an educational piece of content for Instagram, for example, I will also outline that. Outlining will make your process of writing editing, which comes next, so much easier. Something else that I would include in your outlines too, let's say for example, you're going to be outlining your reels, which I do recommend that you do. Make sure that you make note of any scene changes or outfit changes. What are you going to be wearing? Like, are you switching out a top? Are you changing your hair? Are you adding glasses or something like that? Or are you just shooting in a completely different area of the house or a completely different, angle? Make note of that. That is super, super helpful when it comes time to batching the content. Something else that you want to write down when you're outlining is the props that you need. Is there anything extra that you will need for your pictures that you're going to be taking or for your video content? So now's the day for writing. Writing sounds exactly what it sounds like. It's the day that you will write out your captions, you will write out that blog post, you will write out your newsletter. The next thing is it's time to actually create your content. On this day, whether you're taking pictures or videos, you've taken the time to research, you've taken the time to outline, and maybe you've already done your writing, so you know exactly what it is that you're filming. You've made that decision. My biggest tip to you guys when you're batching your content is to start with a piece of content that is the easiest for you to do and then build from there. Videos can take a while to film. If you choose to do your pictures and your videos on the same day, then make sure you get your pictures out of the way, shoot that, and then you can focus on your video content. The only thing you're doing that day is actually creating the content. If you're not taking pictures and you're not doing videos, but you're choosing to do like some type of graphics that you're creating in Canva using a template or PicMonkey or like something else, then your focus is just basically like computer work. So you can also add that in your content creation day for the thing that's the easiest to do. So you can start with that, then do your pictures, and then do your video. So then the next thing in your content batching process is putting everything together. It's your editing day. It's your retouching day. Editing your videos, editing your reels, putting that all together, putting your graphics, your overlays, etc. And then you have your day where you're actually scheduling. I do recommend that you guys use a scheduler to schedule your content. Unfortunately, we can't schedule reels, but all of your in-feed posts you can schedule. There are so many options out there. You can use Later, you can use Planoly. You do need a membership, so you have to pay for it. There is a free version, of course, but it doesn't automatically publish it for you. It just sends you a push notification. Another option for you guys, if you don't want to spend the money or you just don't have it in your budget to pay for like a scheduling tool, is just to use the Facebook creator thing. I've tested it out. Super easy. You can upload your content in there, add your captions, and schedule it out. And you can also schedule your stories through there. So really, really easy. Now we're gonna get into the teaching portion of it, of how I personally broke all of these steps down in this week. It's not always looking like this for me. It changes all the time, but I wanted to show you, in vlog style, what this actually looks like so you guys get a better idea of the process of batching content and everything that it entails. So let's just jump right into that portion. Hey friends, what's up? Today is my research and mini outline day, so I'm going to show you basically what I'm doing for today. My goal for this week is to batch create some reels for my personal account as well as for Boss and Conquer. And something that you may hear a lot when it comes to social media is the importance of being consistent, and I completely agree. And I also think it's important for you to understand the difference between consistency and frequency, which I talk about in another video, so I will link that for you in the cards here so you can watch that video after this one. But something else that a lot of people fail to mention when it comes to consistency is how important it is for you to be doing research on a consistent basis. Since my focus this week is to batch create reels, and I need to make sure that I take the time to do my research and know in advance the audio or song, sound effects, etc. that I'm going to be using, but also what my topic is, what content pillars it ticks off, what's the concept, just going through them and making a little bit of notes. So I started doing this last week in a Google Sheets, and I just need to finish it. I save so much audio on Instagram, and the way that Instagram categorizes these songs isn't always correct. And what I mean by that is these platforms like TikTok and Instagram, people are just, I don't want to say copying, but we're reusing audio over and over again, and sometimes it's not accredited to the original person. So for example, there can be audio and there's like a bit of a Missy Elliott song, right? But that audio is not filed under Missy Elliott. Like if I was to search for it, it wouldn't come up. And if it's in my saved library of audio, it's not going to come up because it has a different name. So I found myself creating reels and then forgetting what song I was going to use for it because of how it shows up in the library, and I will share with you what I mean by that. So basically what I'm doing today is going through my saved library and listening to the song that I saved, but also watching the reels that were created using it and really paying attention to the reels that have a lot of views and making a mental note of what I liked about it. So something that I highly recommend that you guys do when you're doing your research, but also when you're consuming content, is to really pay attention to what is it about that reels that you really liked. What pulled you in? Was it a transition of some kind? Like, was it a visual transition? Was there an outfit change? Did they get closer to the camera? Was it an angle? Was it the text overlay? Was it some type of editing effect? Was it the actual song? And if it was, save that song. And the more that you actually pay attention to these things and have the mindset of a creator, you will really start to pick up on the types of audio that are trending, the things that you are hearing a lot. And there is a way to look for this, and I'll show you that in a little bit, but pay attention to those songs and save them. I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm just going to show you what I have in my Google Sheets so far, so you could get kind of like an idea. This is just how I'm doing it for now. I may change this later on, but I know that this part is really important for me so that visually I can look at my options and figure out what are the reels that make the most sense that I can batch create in a day. Here is what I have so far. I have a column for the song, and then I have a column for the accounts because I'm batch creating content for my personal account as well as for my strategy account, which is Boss and Conquer. So I'm just making a note if which account that is for or if it's for both. And then I have a column here, as you can see, that says topic and content pillar, and there I'm just writing a note down like, where does this fall? Is it an educational tips type of video? Is it dealing with acting? Is it, you know, just for pure entertainment? That type of thing. And then a concept. So when I say mini outline, like I said earlier, I'm not doing a full outline, like in terms of what I'm doing and what the actual text on top is going to be, but I am making note of the actual song as I'm watching it. Like, how many beats are there? Is this an opportunity for a transition? Is this an outfit change that I need to do? Do I change the angle? And if an idea does come about as I'm listening to these songs where I know exactly what it is that I want to do with it, then I will make note of that here so that when I do my full outline, I know to write everything out like fully. So I'm just writing down little notes, as you can see. Like for this one, the sick kick music, I put red icon because when you're looking through your audio library in Instagram, it's so hard to know what the song is, like I mentioned. So I just write like a note so that I know visually what to look for. Basically, this would be for my personal account, and it would be style, and it would be an opportunity to show like 8 different outfits or something like that. Another really good example is the one that I have here that is for acting. That will be for my personal account, and I'm basically doing transitions by changing my outfit twice. So in outfit 1, I'm sharing books actors should read. 1, 2, 3, 4 is like the beat drop, and so with every beat is a text overlay to word. It would be books actors should read. That's not the actual beat, but I'm just giving you an example. And then with outfit 2, I would just be listing out what those books are. Basically, this is what I will be doing today. Like I mentioned, I have a lot of songs saved here on Instagram, so I just need to go through that. And I only have about like an hour, about an hour and a half maybe to do this. I'm going to put a timer on and get to work. Is it really tips? Offer. Results. Yes, service results. That's a better name. Service results. Alright, so it's been about an hour, and I basically went through 8. I went through 8 songs. I'll show you really quickly. This is everything that I have. So I think I have a pretty good library here so that I know exactly what to do when it's time to like film everything. Really focused and on target for the day. I'm doing my outlines today, but I'm specifically doing outlines for my long form content. Long form content being a blog post that I need to do for Boss and Conquer, and I need to outline the intro to this video actually, so that's really important. Also, what I really want to get to today, as I showed you the other day, I was doing my research for Instagram Reels. I want to go through those Reels and pick at least 4, 2 for my personal account and 2 for Boss and Conquer, that I can batch create for tomorrow. So I need to figure out which Reels would be the best ones for me to do in one day, because it makes sense, like the flow of it, and I can do that process of extraction that I mentioned in my content creation day video, which I do recommend that you guys watch, so I will link it for you here in the cards. But I do talk about the process of extraction there. I will also make note of what are any props that I will need and some type of movement, you know, things like that. So that's my goal for today. Today is the most time that I have to do anything, so I'm going to put a timer and I'm going to be working on these outlines for about 2.5-ish hours, take a break, do something else, and come back to it. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on, and I'll catch up with you guys when that time is up. It's been a few hours and I've made some progress. Yay. Let me just show you what I have accomplished so far in this time. So for Reels, I mentioned that I want to do 2 for my personal account and 2 for Boss and Conquer. So what I did was I just highlighted in orange the Reels that I plan to create tomorrow. Here I have 5, but that's only because there's one that is really easy for me to do for both accounts. Like, it doesn't require a lot of changes, and since I'm already going to be creating it for Boss and Conquer, I was like, you know what, might as well just film the same type of thing but for my personal account. And I also made note of any props that I've seen, like, you know, angles and things like that. So that is Reels. I also did a quick outline for the next Boss and Conquer newsletter. I send that out whenever there's information updates that you need to know about as a content creator or a blogger, like things that are going to affect you. There's been a lot of changes in the past week, so I just highlight the ones that are what I think most people care about, which is Instagram. So a lot of Instagram updates, that is done. And I also started to outline a mini blog post that I want to do for Boss and Conquer. I think I got a good amount of work done today. I'm happy where I'm at. I have, the most important thing was to make sure that I have my outlines for my Reels, because that's my goal for tomorrow, is to batch Reels. Sometimes what I like to do when I'm outlining is to also do my research. I like to do my keyword research, hashtags, and all of that stuff. And if I have the energy to, depending on how much I plan to create for that week, I will also start to write the captions to like post in Reels so that I'm ready to go. I'm not doing that this time though. I will probably do that on my editing day. And honestly, tomorrow when I'm filming, I may even edit like 1 or 2 Reels and write the captions, so that's done. But we'll see how it goes. I try to break it up each day and spend a couple of hours doing each part of the content batching process, so that the day of creating it is a little bit easier for me. That's my day 2, day 3, wherever we're on. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Good morning, it's Friday. We have made it to content creation day. I'm going to show you guys my setup really quickly. I moved my stuff. You know, when you're working with limited space, you got to do what you got to do. I have this table here and I'm doing my audition makeup. That's my Reels. So I have my makeup all set up here on a paper towel, and I lay everything out in the order in which I'm going to use it, so I'm not constantly moving. I also have this mini ring light right here, and this comes with a little remote control, as you can see, so that once I put my camera right here, I'm an Android girl, so once my phone is in place, I just hit that and it will be ready to go. It's super easy. You connect it with USB, so we're connected. One Reels is in the bag. Before I move on to the next one, my tip for you guys is just to review your footage, review the pictures that you took for your cover. I always take a couple so that as I'm designing the cover in Canva, I have options to work with. So I always like to review everything. And then a tip, because I run into this issue a lot, I like to edit my Reels in InShot because it's super easy for me. So sometimes when I'm in InShot and I have to go to my gallery to import any videos or images, it's really difficult for me to figure out which is the one that I like the best, that I want to use. So in addition to hardening it, I also create a whole new folder in my gallery, and I name that the name of the Reels. So this is audition makeup, so I'll create a folder that says audition makeup, and I'll put the files that I know for a fact that I want to use in that folder, so that when it's time to edit, it's just so much easier for me to, you know, identify it and import everything. So that's what I'm about to do. And then I'm gonna do my second reels, which is books that actors should read. And since I'm using the same space, I'm just gonna stay right here, and then I'll check in with you guys after. Let's do a time check. It is 12:28. Not bad. Let's go. What I'm gonna do really quickly is actually look at my Google Sheets that I showed you guys where my reels is at, and check off the reels that I just did so I don't get confused, and then also look at whatever notes I wrote down for the next reel so that I am prepared, and this just helps the flow, you know what I mean, so you're like in the rhythm or whatever. My gosh. All right, so I just finished my second reels, and quick tip for you guys, that one I actually created within the reels in Instagram, because that's where the audio is. I just wanted to do it there because it was relatively short. I'll edit it there. That's usually not my preference, but for things that have like beats and specific moments, I want to make sure that I'm doing it in reels. Again, I don't do it all the time because reels be crashing for me sometimes. But the reason why I'm mentioning that is if you're going to do anything in reels, whether you edit it in reels or not, just in case, I did save this to my draft. But what you also want to do when you're filming it, when you're done filming the clips in reels, make sure you're saving each clip or the entire thing to your camera roll, just in case, because sometimes you'll have things in drafts, and let's say there's like an update within Instagram and then you update the app, like you can lose things. So many people lose their drafts and then you just wasted that time. So make sure that you save the video to your phone if you're creating it in reels. So now, what time is it? 12:48. That was quick. I need to hop on a last minute call and we'll get back to this. Let's see how long it takes me. I will check in with you guys in a couple of hours. The sun is beaming. It's that golden hour. It's 4:42. I finished all of the reels that I wanted to do for today. I have one reel that I decided to put up for today for Boston Conquer because I'm really trying to be consistent. That one was very easy to make and I did it within reels. It didn't give me any problems. That one is already up. And the one that I'm going to put up for today for my personal account, that one took a little bit longer. I would have been done sooner, but for some reason the reels, the audio was just not syncing. It's really interesting to have two accounts, and one account always has more features than the other, or certain features just work better. I don't know why that is on Instagram. It's really annoying. I didn't have any problems on my Boston Conquer account, but for my personal account for one of the reels, it was just like the audio was not syncing, and that was kind of annoying. But because I save everything to my camera, it was just easy to just re-upload it, add the audio that I want, and slice it up. But again, a little bit time consuming. I would say that overall today was a success. The only thing we have left in this whole content creation batching is to actually edit everything that we created and write captions and all of that jazz. And because we already took the time to do the research, that part really won't take that much time. That's a content batching day, 5 reels, done. Okay, you guys, so that is the actual process and steps to content batching, as you saw. And you know, like I mentioned before, this looks different for me day to day, week to week. It's always changing based on my availability and, you know, just what I have going on in my life. But I wanted to give you guys a bird's eye view of what this actually looks like, because that's a question that I get a lot. People are just like, how do you batch content? So I hope that this was clear. I hope that you learned something, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notifications so that you never miss an upload. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.